it, but Roger Goodell sent a memo to all 32 NFL teams saying the NFL draft will go on as scheduled April 23rd through the 25th. Mickey Loomis earlier this week, part of a general manager subcommittee that recommended to the league they move the draft back. Didn't have enough time to prepare, can't do physicals, etc. Roger Goodell said, ain't happening. We're pressing forward as scheduled. So Goodell has acknowledged there will be significant changes. He told teams, prepare to conduct the draft outside of your team facility, possibly with a limited number of people, but it's going on. And part of the reason which Goodell gave, which I agree with, by the way, he said in the memo, quote, there is no assurance that we can select a different date and be confident that conditions will be significantly more favorable than they are today, which is true. So throw in arbitrary dates, say we'll back it up a month into May. What's to say it's going to be any better in May? Or June? Might not be any better. So why move it? I agree with Goodell. There's two things, though. There's ultimately moving forward with the draft. And then the other part that's gotten people's attention is that Goodell warned NFL executives, team executives, players, anyone who publicly criticizes the NFL for this decision could face disciplinary action. Now, did not lay out what that disciplinary action would be. Very likely fines. But Roger Goodell has that autonomy under this collective bargaining agreement to levy whatever punishment that he deems fit for something like this. And again, likely fines. When he's at the times where Goodell has implemented suspensions has been Bountygate, Deflategate, Ray Rice. You think about those types of things that were either thought to influence competition or were so egregious like the Ray Rice situation that you had no choice. Those are the things that have led to suspension. This likely wouldn't. But 3 points. One, like Goodell said, there's no guarantee that there's a better date. Two, for the GMs that have said, well, it's going to increase the margin for error because we don't have the opportunity to go through the entire pre-draft process. Well, there's always a margin of error in every draft. I'll continue to remind you that the Bears traded up to select Mitchell Trubisky ahead of both Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson. There are awful decisions in every draft, even with the limited. Maybe this will actually go kind of like how some people who know nothing end up doing really well in March Madness bracket challenges. It's like, what the hell? Pick it by your favorite mascot. You might turn out okay. My mom picked Loyola of Chicago to go to the Final Four. No basketball expert had that. Mama Moscona did. Why? Just guessing. You never know. It might work out. And I do agree that it's not ideal to move the schedule any further because let's assume you do move the draft from April into May or June. Well, now you've messed up whatever possible scenarios could be unfolding then. What if in May or June you're back to OTAs or mini camps or something like that, and now that's all going to be influenced because the draft has been moved to there. And then whatever players are drafted would have to quickly get to whatever spot that they are drafted and get assimilated. It's almost like on the field, if you have... This happens often on the offensive line, right? If you have your left tackle injured, do you really want to move your right tackle to left tackle because now you're weaker at two spots? It's better just to keep your right side intact in many instances and get your backup left tackle in there. So I kind of agree with that. Just have this as is. It's not ideal, I understand, but it's still the best case scenario. And as far as Goodell being too stern, I don't think it's dumb. I think it's wise of him to say to the NFL, hey, let's protect the shield on this one. It sucks for everybody, but it's going to be best for all of us just to proceed. The problem is he's stupid enough to write it down thinking that memo isn't going to get leaked to Schefter and Ian Rappaport and all those other guys. I mean, Florio. Of course it's going to get leaked. And then you're going to be a story because everybody hates you. You might as well just, keep that on the down low. But that's Roger Goodell.